Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Real Talk Journeys of Resilience and Success. And today we are on episode 44, believe it or not, yes. And today's topic is From a Simple Task to Limitless Dreams, Adelina's Journey to Purpose, Growth, and Generational Impact. So our guest today is Adelina Rawlins, and she will be joining us in a few minutes. Before I dive into the topic, let me introduce myself. So, hi everyone, my name is Sandy. I'm originally from Panama, but I currently reside in Surrey, British Columbia, Canada. I also work in the movie industry, and I'm a proud digital business owner and mentor. I also want to remind everyone that we have a live webinar every Tuesdays and Thursdays. Is a free info session if you want to learn how to start your online business and start earning online. We do have that free info session every Tuesdays and Thursdays, 5 p.m. PST and 8 p.m. EST. So if you want to learn, how you can start your online business and start earning online, all you have to do is just register into my website that appears here on the screen with your name and email address, and I'll send you that invitation to watch the webinar. So when you register into my website, you will receive an email that will contain two links. The first one is to register for the live webinar. That one will take you to a page that will have two buttons, one for Tuesday and one for Thursday, so you can register for either one or for both. The second link that you have there is the link of the replay of the live webinar. So just in case you cannot attend to the live webinar, that's not a problem. You can always catch the replay and watch it from the comfort of your own home. So in addition to that, I also invite you to our private Facebook group where you get to see more success stories from members of our community and more information about the business. Now you probably wonder, okay, so what am I going to find out on the webinar? So on the webinar, you're going to find out how our online business plan works. And also you get the opportunity to hear from the panelists, which are members of our community, who will be sharing with you why they decided to start their online business and how this online business has transformed their lives. So let's find out who were the hosts and panelists from yesterday's live webinar. Okay, so yesterday's live webinar, we had Chris and Karen. So Chris is a former firefighter and Karen is a former elementary vice principal. Our first panelist is Anne. She's a sales and marketing executive. We have Rika, registered nurse, Tony, an IT, and Rita, a recruitment. We also have Annibelle, a retired nurse. We have Rada, a former corporate employee. We have Manisha Bahen, former brick and mortar business owner, and Sangita, a software engineer. So as you see, we have all different walks of life and different ages, but they all have something in common, and that is, they decided to take that leap of faith to change their lives and their families' lives. So if you want to catch this replay before next Tuesday's live webinar, all you have to do is just register into my website and I'll send you that replay of this webinar. Now, our replays have subtitles in several languages, and our live webinar has subtitles in 5 languages: the Spanish, French, Tagalog, Vietnamese, and Arabic. So there you go. Now you know what to do. So again, if you want to learn how to start your online business and start earning online, all you have to do is just register into the website. Okay, so let's dive into our topic. Like we mentioned, today we are on episode 44. And our topic today is From a Simple Task to Limitless Dreams, Adelina's Journey to Purpose, Growth, and Generational Impact. So our guest today is Adelina Rawlins, and she will be joining us in a few minutes. But before I bring her in, let me introduce her to you guys, okay? So I'm so excited to introduce today's amazing guest, Adelina. She's originally from the beautiful island of Santa Lucia, and now living in Ontario, Canada. Adelina is a proud mother of 3 and grandmother of 3. So she works as a support worker by choice and is also a part-time digital business owner and mentor. So tired of feeling stuck in the same routine, she decided it was time for a change to create more freedom, flexibility, and purpose in her life. So Adelina's story is one of courage, growth, and taking action when life calls for something more. So let's get ready to be inspired by Adelina's story. So let me bring Adelina to the studio. Hi, Adelina. Thank you for coming.
Hello, good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're coming from. My name is Adelina Rawlins. I'm originally from St. Lucia, an island where that is a very sweet island, and I'm residing in Canada. My story began when I came to Canada as an immigrant. I came with high hopes, I came with dreams, I came with goals, and we all know that when we migrate to a country, we have that hopes and that dream. But to tell you the truth, in that hope and that dream, it cut short. It cut short. Why? At a certain point, my eldest daughter felt ill and she passed. And that brought me to a place where, when you feel that, all hope is gone. You have you have kids, and then you feel that, it is you to, put them to it's there to do you, but it's not you to bury, right? So but it was hard. I went through a lot in that. I'm living, but the inside is crying out. But eventually, in going through life, I found a little church group I was going to, and in that, it helped. They helped, me come back to where I was. But there were still other issues, but it's personal, so I do not want to really put that. But I when I got that issue resolved, that's when I began to say, okay, there is something that I needed. But first I did the course, the personal support worker course. And in doing that, I realized that it's not what I want for the rest of my life. But while sitting in my little corner in my room, and I decided that I want more. That the soul is crying for more, and I want something that my life will reflect, for the generation to come, or to reflect that somebody can gain something from whatever that is within. And plus, I wanted time. I wanted time for myself. I wanted to travel. I wanted, that, I don't have to figure out I'm living from paycheck to paycheck, but you want the time, you want the freedom, you want the flexibility. So I said, okay, I will need passive income. And then I said, okay, you sit and you watch television day in, day out, but they are making their passive income. What about me? I asked that question. What about me? Why am I sitting there after I finish do all my chores? Why am I sitting there and I'm not, earning extra income? So I decided to, do some research, and there was an ad that came to me about I think about 3-4 years ago. And when I saw it, I was skeptical. I said, these things, they always come with things, and then when you had a shout, they rip you, right? So I said, no, I'm not going to listen to that. Let that go. But little do I know, when I did make up my mind and say, well, I am ready to look for a passive income, little do I know the ad showed back. It came back to me. I saw it. I said, oh, you're speaking to me right now. So what I did, I bookmarked it, and then I said I would watch it later. But when I watched it, because there was a webinar, it would turn into a webinar. When I sat and I watched it, I said, oh, that I'm going to do it. Because when you watch, there is all walks of life. There is nurses, there is doctors, there is people just like you and I are watching, did the business. There is even those that older than me. And they said age is not is not a number. You are not too late. You are not too old for you to do it. And I said, okay. I decided. I joined. And today, in that little corner in my room, that little desktop, that little corner, that little, I'll say, well, it has grown, and it has given me a little, an esteem that, I am putting something out there. It's not for myself. That mission is to help others, do the same, just like me. Because what will I say again? Because it's not just okay. All right. As I said, it helps me put out what I have out there, so others can get a blessing out of it. And as I will say that that being when you my why, I didn't say my why, especially my why, when you're tired of being stuck in a corner, or you're tired of being stuck in the same routine, or you're tired of when you head out there, and then the responses you're getting from the boss, or who it is, or sometimes it's not. And even from the I can't even from from others, what you get from them, it's it gives you a place that I'm tired. You'll say, I'm tired. I don't know what to do. I am tired of being stuck. What will I gain from being stuck? And plus my kids, my grandkids, I want to leave a legacy for the generation. In that business, you can if you're just too tired to go on, you can just pass it to your grandkids. So in all that, I decided that I wanted to do it, and I did the business. And what else will I put again? Okay, there's one more thing I want to say. When I started the business, I had no roadmap. I had no vision. I had no courage. You just saying, they tell me I have to do this, and they tell me I have to do that. But that fear that's within us, we all have that fear that what people will say when we put this out and we put that out. I had all that in me, and I thank God that today that it's getting out little by little. And what else I will say? Oh yeah, one more thing about the being afraid of the unknown. That's one, I had also, I'll say, well, okay, I joined that business. Why did I do it? How will I reach from point A to point B? What will I say from, about this or about that? And what, how, I had all these skeptical in me. But today I can say that it has brought me to that little desk, that limited desk, where I can grow. And that is, what else will I say again to others? Guys, I'm just being myself. so what again I'll say?
Well,
Uh-huh.
thank it's okay. I have some questions for you though.
Okay, all right.
But I want to say thank you for sharing that. And sorry about your loss. About your daughter loss. So, um, I'm feeling deeply. I didn't know your story, so thank you for sharing that. Um, okay, so let me change. So we're gonna dive into the questions. Okay,
I read too
so
much. I even have to go show.
okay, so Adelina, you
Yeah.
talk about starting a simple desk with nothing but a laptop and a dream. So, what was the moment that made you say, I can't settle anymore? I have to do this for me and for the generation after me?
Okay. What made me decide that was
That you
I
couldn't
couldn't
continue
take
anymore. Yeah. You
I
couldn't
couldn't
take.
take what was happening around. You know, you have you have bills to pay, you have loans to pay, the you want to help your grandkids, you want, there's missionary that you want to support, and there is families that you want to support, and the travels that you want to go, you want to take, the adventures that you want to take, and you sit in that little corner and say, Lord, I am tired of going from paycheck to paycheck. I am tired of seeing that, that even though I pursue what I want and I do what I want, it is still not resolving to where I want to be. So I decided that I wanted that, and plus at my age, when you look back and see, no matter what you try and you do, and you keep helping and helping and helping, but then you have to look at yourself and say, Lord, in all that, where do I stand? I look in the mirror and I said, Lord, what am I going to do? How am I going to answer to myself that I want a lifestyle that I do not want to depend on my family, I do not want to depend on my children, and I want to, to support myself when I retired, when I get retired. So in all that, I said, no, I have to start something that will generate that income. So when I reach in that stage, I don't have to depend on the government's retirement funds, because that fund is not enough to support, because things are getting expensive. So it's not enough to support. So that's where, I decided that I wanted something more to do.
Mhm. Thank you for sharing that. And yeah, I think a lot of people will agree with you. There's always, a moment where you're seeing, like, okay, I have to do something, like a lot of things start piling up, like you mentioned,
Yeah,
there's debts, student loans, and all that. So you're like, I need a way out of this, because even me working, that's still not enough. And now, like you mentioned, like you're gonna be retiring. So when you're gonna retire, that's not gonna be enough money for the pension. You don't wanna be you wanna be independent, that you don't have your family, to take care
sure.
of you. So you wanna have that financial independence. So yeah, we all think about that. Or sometimes, we neglect of those things until,
Mhm.
we encounter in that aha moment, and then we realize. So um so thinking about those things, like thinking about the present, what can I do now to change that path,
Yeah,
because if I continue the same, nothing is going to change, it might get worse. Like you mentioned, prices are keep going up.
yeah,
So would I have enough money for the retirement? That's what the thing, that's not going to be enough what we get, for the Canada pension plan.
yeah,
um so when you retire, actually you're making less than what you were working.
yeah,
And the thing is, like, the other thing is, will your health will be good by the time you retire? So you want to be able to enjoy before,
yeah,
life. And yeah, so seeing those things, like it makes you reflect on life, and it makes you like think, okay, I have to do something. I have to find something, that will take me out of this place where I am today. So um that's you that those were the reasons that, that made you say, like, I need some change. I need some
yeah,
help, God, help me
yeah,
here, to
yeah,
find a way out. And that how you find it. And I think we all of us, we come to this business for same and kind of like different reasons, but we all have something that
mm,
we want more in life for us, for our
mm,
family,
yeah,
um, like you were talking before, you want to be able to help your family, help other families, and the only way to be able to do that is, having your online business, because you can build that financial independence,
ability, yeah,
where you can have for you and your family, but also to help, other people, and to help, um, community, giving back to the community or to the church, like you were saying. um, so it will allow you to have those things, not only about you but also about giving back.
Yeah.
And like in this business, it's not only about you but also the impact that you make on others, because you're helping other people also to be able to achieve their dreams.
Yeah.
And also giving back to the community,
Yeah.
or to whatever organization you want to give back. So it's a win-win to be able to do this. Now the journey is not so easy. This is not a rich quick scheme. It
Yeah.
takes time. It takes
Mm-hmm.
time, but it is feasible. Okay.
Yeah.
It requires the right mindset, and showing up every day for your business, because this is your business. This is not a
Yeah.
job. This is, you have to take ownership of your business. But the scalability and the potential of this business is amazing.
Yeah.
And like you mentioned, this is something that you can pass on to your kids.
Yeah.
So when you say, when you feel tired, or when we are no longer in this world, you can pass this legacy to your kids. And the
Yeah.
other legacy that you're leaving behind, besides the financial part of it, is the legacy that your kids are watching you.
Yeah.
Your kids are watching you, that you are taking, you're getting out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
You're taking into a new venture.
Mm-hmm.
So those things are you're teaching your kids to get empowered, to believe in their dreams and go and take action to their dreams.
Yeah.
um, that whatever you set your mind to, you can achieve. So those are the other legacy that you're leaving to your kids, which is something that no one can take from them. Seeing that, like my mom was able to do this, was able to learn
Mhm.
new skills, she become more tech savvy.
Yeah.
So if she did it, so can I. So you
Mhm.
are an inspiration to them. So thank you for sharing that. So second question for you.
Mhm.
Okay, so you mentioned it, battling doubt, fear, and the weight of survival. So, what were some of the biggest mental and emotional hurdles you had to overcome,
Hurdles.
and how do you pronounce it?
Hurdles.
Hurdles. Oh,
Yeah.
that's kind of
Mm.
hard for me. Hurdles. Okay, you had
Yeah.
to overcome, and how did you turn those challenges into action?
Mm. Okay, my biggest challenge. My biggest challenge is to sit in front of a camera and speak to audience. That's my biggest challenge. And when I first started, I it was because I am not someone who ever sat in front of social media, or to go on social media and put out what I have out there. And if I start doing it, it is just like someone who doesn't even know what she's doing. And my hurdle was is and I had my family to cheer me along. That's one part I loved. I remember I went back home, and my elder sister and my the sister, she's the one before the last. Yeah, and they all cheered me, and they were saying, I can do that, I can do it, and I can do it. So if you when you get the support of your family, and but one thing with them, they don't really like going in front of the camera, because I do it on my own. Right. And when I came back here, my son and my niece, and and those around me, they all cheered me and say, you can do it. Just do what you have to do, and just and we will just let you do your own thing. And the other one again, my other biggest challenge is when to the tech savvy, and to do the different thing. It's still a challenge, but with the help of the community, I am still, that the community helps you overcome, because we have the webinars where we can get the live webinars, where we can get the training, We have the daily drop-ins where we can go in every day and watch. And even you can just text the anyone on the community and put out a question, and the community will help. So these are that's one of what that help me overcome my challenges. And when I heard the testimonies of others, how they started and where they are, and they are still, so I it helps me know that, no matter where I am right now, I can overcome any hurdles that are in my way. And one more thing is, sometimes I feel down, yes, and but I'm not staying down, because I have my why, and I know why I started the business. So I am still going strong, and any challenges that come, it goes down and I go back up. That's it.
That's good. Thank you so much for sharing that. And yeah, I do agree with you, um like for example, you mentioned it lastly, there's gonna be moments where you're gonna feel down, and that's normal. Like this journey, is not an easy journey. There's like ups and downs. But when you feel down, um if you have the right mindset, if you are plugged into the community, if you're doing your training, and working on your mindset, you will have your moment down, because we are humans, we have
Yeah.
to let those emotions out. But the difference here is that you take a pause to reflect and to let those emotions out. But then after that, you bounce back and you continue your journey. So you need that moment to reflect and to
Mhm.
recharge, to see, okay, um, I have done my pause, my reflection. Now let's keep going. This is just a lesson, or this is just a moment. Because every setback, or every when you feel down, it will teach you something. But it all depends how you
Yeah.
look at it. But it will teach
Yes.
you something. It will remind
Mhm.
you. Because I've been
Mhm.
there as you. I had my moment where I fell down, and I was questioning myself. Those self doubts came in, but I questioned
Mhm.
myself. Would I want to go back to where I was, what I was doing, or do I
Mhm.
want to continue my journey to build that better lifestyle for me and my family? So those that why will come up to your mind, and it will
Mhm.
say, "Do you want to go back?" No, you don't want to go back. You want to keep going forward. You don't want to go backwards. So,
Mhm.
um, that's what really helps you in your journey, to remember the why. So that's why, like we always say, like you have to have a strong why, a
Yeah.
why that will make you cry. Because if you don't have a strong why, then you don't have that fuel to push you moving forward. So
Mhm.
if you have a strong why, then nothing is going to stop you. Yes, you will have your moments, but then you're going to bounce back and you're going to continue. So I do agree with you with what you share, because this is not an easy journey, and we do have our moments when we feel down. But one of the things that you mentioned there, that it also helps you to stay on track, is attending, get plugged in into the system. Like we have those masterminds on Wednesday, where we have a member of our community who share their stories.
Mhm.
And that's what you were mentioned before. Like when they hear the stories, um, and they have achieved their milestone, we see their stories, and we think, like, oh wow, we thought that our life, our journey was bad, but when we hear their stories, it's even worse, and we say, like, well,
Mhm.
if they did it, so can we. So that's
Yep.
an inspiration.
Mhm.
So I remember one of the stories that I saw on the masterminds.
Mhm.
That's the one that I always remember, that one, because it's that member of our community was like, there was never a light end of the tunnel. Like when you thought there was going to be a light at end of the tunnel, suddenly something comes up. So it was like that. and
Mhm.
and I say, wow. And she is today very successful, and I was like, okay, if she was able to make it through all those challenges and setbacks, and she never give up, she keep pushing forward, then so can we. We can do it. So those are stories that, from our community, that will keep you inspired to be continue your journey. And the other thing you mentioned, like you were not tech savvy. And yeah, it's okay because like we think that for this business, you need to be tech savvy, but no, you don't need no knowledge, no tech savvy experience, because everything is given here to you. Like we do have that video based training so that you can follow along at your own pace. And like you mentioned, you have the support of the community too, so whenever you have a question, you can ask, and someone will help you, to answer that question. And you also have the mentor and the coach,
Yeah.
so you're never alone on this journey. And that's one of the greater things, that um, helps you to be able to succeed in this business, because all the tools, all the support is there for you to be staying plugged in. So it's really about us,
Mhm.
um, to stay plugged into the system and to keep pushing forward,
Yeah.
um, because we have to believe in ourselves that we are capable of doing things that we thought that we couldn't do it, like for example going live. Look at you now, you're going live now, and you're going live on your own too.
Yeah.
So
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah, you just have to believe in yourself, and then anything that you set your mind to, you can achieve. Is it easy? No, it's not easy. It takes time. It takes you start baby steps, but eventually you get there.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of um, doing the training, get plugged into the community, networking with the community. That's another thing, because some people like to
Yeah.
stay in the bubble. So if you stay in your bubble, you don't grow. It's when you
True.
go outside of your comfort zone and you start reaching out to the community, that's when you start growing up, because you get to meet other people that are ahead of your journey, so you get to learn from them. How did they do this? Okay, and you can ask questions. So that's the growing part of this journey, getting out of that comfort zone and reaching
Yeah.
out to ask questions. So thank you so much for sharing those, because we all relate that that's part of our journey, and that's part of
Yeah.
our growing, and creating, building that self development, and working on that mindset. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Okay, so last question for you. So you have become a mentor and an example for others now. So what would you say to someone watching this who feels stuck in a 9 to 5, thinking that could never be me? So what
Mhm.
would you say to them?
Well, what I will say to you guys, I was in a double 9 to 5, and I will tell you that it's not a bad thing to be stuck in the 9 to 5, but I think it is time that we open our horizon and figure out that we are only we are only how do we are only pursuing helping the boss. And what's about we need to figure out that we need to have something on our side, because today, tomorrow, or day after, we never know, because we never know where that 9 to 5 will bring us. Sometimes things happen, and you cannot go back to that 9 to 5. Sometimes they have medical issues, and you cannot go back to that 9 to 5. So I would ask everyone that it's time that we take action, and we look deep into ourselves and ask ourselves, or look in the mirror and ask ourselves, do we really want to stay in that, be stuck in that 9 to 5 for the rest of our lives? Because I read about some there is one particular country where they are taking back the people's pension. They are cutting it down. So do you think that when you reach that, take that 40 years or that 60 years, and then and think, well, when that time come, will you enjoy it? It's better to take action now. It's better to look within and say, okay, let me start something fresh. Let me start a part-time on a side, a part-time online business. Because now, when you really watch online, that's where everything is being done online. You go to the you have to make an appointment, it's online. You have to say, okay, you are taking up a course, it is online. You know, everything is being done online. So why can't we change our mindset and say, okay, I will start that part-time. It is not you, it is flexible, and you just it is flexible and you do it at your own time. So all I can tell you is open your eyes, open your heart, open your mind, and decide to create that mindset and start something for tomorrow, for your children, for your grandchildren, or for, you know, for, in fact, really for yourself, because you want, you know, you want to be you know, happy. You want to celebrate you, that you did something on a side and it is generating what you want for you. So that is all I can tell you guys. So just that's it.
Thank you so much. No, you touch a lot of nuggets in there. Just yesterday, I had a guest, on here, Real Talk Journeys of Resilience Success, and she was mentioning that, her company where she was working for so many years, they were cutting people, and she was always worried if what she was going to be on the next list that was coming out for people to getting laid off. She didn't wait until that moment. She searched for another job somewhere else before that happened to her, because like the company was cutting down. Um, but even then, she realized that there's a max cap that you can get for salary. So that's another thing that she find out. So today, like she's like on a call um job. So like she cannot take really on another job, because she never know if it's gonna conflict with the one that she has. So she needed to
Okay.
find something else. So that's when she reached out actually to her sister, because she's the one who started this online business. And she was curious about what was she doing, because like she has more on her plate, and she was looking happy and relaxed and all that. So then she asked, and then that's how she found out about this business. So that's one of the some of the examples that you mentioned, laying out. The other one that you mentioned is, yes, we are building other people's empire instead of building our own.
Yeah.
So why building other people's empire when you can build yourself, your own? um and if you need to be the change for your future generation, the one that will change that path, of being, just an employee and start being an entrepreneur. Change that path for your family, create that financial independence for your family. And the other thing that I was going to mention, that you mentioned about, like some places, they might cut the pension plan.
Yeah.
And I heard about this like couple of years back, on YouTube. Um, it hasn't happened yet, but what they were saying, the rumors, back then, is that in the future there might not be pensions for people, you know.
Right.
So you want to start thinking about that, because we might think that there might be money for us, when we retire, for like the pension, but that might not, and that is not even enough with
Right.
all the rising prices. But what if there's no more pension by the time that you retire? What are you gonna do? So why wait until then? So just to start planning, like Adelina say, start this on the side, have a plan B,
Yes.
because it's better to have something to fall on that not to have anything, and then you're
Anything.
up in the air, like what I'm gonna do now. You got bills to pay, you gotta pay for the house, you have your kids, how are
Yeah.
you gonna feed your kids? You have to start thinking about all that. It's not only about you, it's about your family too. So you gotta think about, how can I take my family, and have them, uh, build, in a lifestyle that they're gonna be comfortable, and we can still be together, as a family, and enjoying those family moments, but we don't have to worry about the financial part of it. So this is what this online business opportunity gives you, that chance to be able to build it on the side. And Even though you're starting this as a plan B, eventually this plan B is going to become your plan A because it will surpass your actual income that you have.
Yeah.
Um, this is not a rich quick scheme. It starts, it's a lot of hard work at the beginning because, you gotta do your training and you gotta, doing your work. But it starts all by compound and it keeps increasing. So the scalability is there for this business. So, yeah, not only think about you, but only think about your family.
Yeah.
How can I help my family? So be the change for your family, for your future's family. So for that legacy, for the next generation to come, because things right now are uncertain. A lot of jobs are being cut off.
Yeah.
Companies are cutting, expenses, and those expenses are many times, jobs. They're trying to save on costs. Technology is replacing a lot of those jobs right now. And then some companies, they cannot keep up. I mean, here in Canada, for those who are in Canada, you probably know, our oldest, store that was a historic store, for Canada, Hudson's Bay, just closed the doors. I think it was on Sunday, the last time they closed the doors. And that was a company that was established way before Canada was born. Um, so it's sad to see that happen. And it's sad to see that a lot of people lose
Oh,
their jobs now, um, and they have to look for another job. So it's you have to think about that because as much as we want to think that everything's going to be forever, it's not. That's not the case. So plan ahead, reflect in your life, and if you are in a position that if you see yourself that like look back at 3 years back where you're still in the same place and that you are today, then that means you need some change. And will you see yourself this in the same place for in the next 3 to 5 years? If that's the case, you need to do something because everything around you is evolving and you're gonna be left behind. So you need to adapt, you need to open your eyes, to see the opportunity that is in front of you. We are so blessed to have this digital world era,
yeah.
because our parents didn't have that opportunity, so they had no choice but to work.
Yeah.
But we do have this opportunity, so we can build something for ourselves, and build that independence. Think of, we used to say, only rich people can be millionaires. That's a thing
Mhm.
of the past.
Yep.
Now,
Yep.
if we take part of this opportunity, you can also become millionaires. I mean, we do have millionaires in our community. In fact,
Mhm.
when I started in 2023, our Wednesday mastermind, it used to call Wednesday mastermind, but now it's called Millionaire Mastermind. And
That's
that's
amazing.
because we have more than one millionaire. We have people making six figures per month.
Yeah,
So
thousands.
believe it or not, yeah. So it is possible. But you have to get out of your comfort zone. You have to take risks. You have to start shifting that employee mindset into an entrepreneurial mindset. And entrepreneurs take risk, and that's why they have success. So yeah, just think about it. We are not here to convince you. We're just here to give you, the options that you
Insight.
have, you know, um, so you can take do your due diligence. We offer a free webinar that is available to you. So it's free info session, so you get to see how our online business plan works, and you get to hear from the panelists, which are members of our community. And then if you want to know more in detail about the business, then at that moment, you pay the $149 US. That is 30 days refundable, so you have 30 days to do your due diligence, and browse our private Facebook group because you also get invited there. And then you can ask questions to the person that invited you uh, to this online business community. So um, you got nothing to lose, more to gain, because after the 30 days, like, well, within the 30 days, actually, um, if you haven't proceed to the next coaching call, you can get your money back if you think this is not for you. But if it is for you, then you proceed to the next step. and then that's how you um, find out. But yeah, do your due diligence. We are here just to show you, that there's other options that you can have. There is a better options for you and your family where you can build that lifestyle. But it's at the end of the day, it's up to you. You are the one who needs to take action. We took action ourselves because we want a better future for us and for our family. Um, and this journey is not about money only. That's what we think when we come into this business. But then once we are inside, we realize that it's not only about money.
Mhm.
So there's so many things that we gain from this business. So just wanna end it to that. And thank you again, Adelina, for answering to that question and for uh, giving that advice to those who felt stuck in the 9 to 5 thinking. So thank you for sharing that.
Mhm.
So we have arrived to the end. So thank you everyone that has watched the live with us today. For those catching the replay, thank you so much. To our followers, thank you for believing in us and for engaging with our content. Um, for those who watch us on YouTube, you can also, if you are not subscribed to our channel, you can subscribe to our channel so that way you and press that notification bell so that way you get notified when we put new content and when we go in live, so that way you get informed and you learn from this online business opportunity, so you got a little bit of insight of the behind the scenes of an online business entrepreneur. So saying that, if you guys don't follow us on Facebook, you can follow us up here. So you can follow Adelina Rawlins on her Facebook business page. And that way, you get to know us a little bit more, who we are, what type of content we post, and more information about the business. So
Mhm.
there you go. So if you want to learn how to start your online business and start earning online, all you have to do is just register in any of the websites on the screen with your name and email address, and we'll send you that invitation to watch the webinar. You can also put in the comment more info, and also send us a private message, and we'll be happy to answer any of your questions that you have in regards to the online business opportunities. So we're happy to be here with you. We hope so that you got inspired with Adelina's story in her journey. So thank you again, Adelina, for sharing your story and journey.
You're
Um,
welcome.
so if you guys wanna catch the replay of yesterday's live webinar before life's webinar, all you have to do is just register in the website and we'll send you that replay so you can watch it from the comfort of your own home before the live webinar. So saying that, we want to wish everyone a happy and blessed Friday for those who are on Friday, and a happy and blessed Saturday for those who are on Saturday, and a happy and blessed weekend ahead for everyone. So thank you again for being here with us today. And tomorrow we're going to be on another episode of the Real Talk Journeys of Resilience with another topic and another guest. So thank you again for being here. And thank you again to Adelina for taking some time today uh, and sharing with us, your journey and your story. So it's really inspiring. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right. So that's the end of the live. So God bless you all. Thank you for watching. And until the next episode tomorrow. Bye, everyone.